Hello YouTube, Cat here. Just wanted to do a follow-up video on the Razer Freyja Haptic seat cushion. I've been using this for a month and wanted to give my feedback on it, things I like and don't like. So things I do like. It does feel like a high quality product. I would say Razer products generally do. And it is comfortable to sit in. It did take me a couple days to get used to it. It does add some thickness to the back there and of course to the seat bottom also, but this is something you'll get used to, not a problem, just wanted to point that out. The haptic feedback, like the vibrations that you get when you're playing your games, it takes things up another level. Like the immersion, it wasn't something that I thought would really be as I wouldn't say it's groundbreaking. It's, haptics have been around for a while, but I've really grown to appreciate it, and I literally use it on every game now. So even when I'm playing music, I just turn it on. It's just it's a pretty cool product. And something else that I appreciate was this breakaway cable. I'm not gonna disconnect it, but if you roll over the cable, which I have a couple of times, down here somewhere, it got caught on the wheel, it will pull the cable away instead of ripping it, from the seat cushion, which is nice. I need to cable manage this wire. I haven't yet. It's just running up to a power strip, so nothing fancy. But I did want to point out that's a cool little feature. So things I don't like. All right. So this is going to be more in the bugs category. And I'll try to sound as non-confusing as possible. But if you have a modern day gaming headset, I would say anything like this one. I bought this at the same time. This is a Kraken V4 Pro haptic headset. And I bought it to pair with the Razer Freyja seat cushion. To have that haptic on my head and then the haptics on my back and my bottom. So cool experience overall. But the thing with this headset is it has additional audio processing. It has THX spatial, and it has some other audio enhancements that it does. And I'll give you one example that I came across this week. So I was playing Grand Theft Auto 5 online, and I noticed the seat cushion wasn't working. And I also got a bunch of crackling in the audio, almost like the audio was slowing down and it would distort and the seat cushion just stopped working. So what happened was I figured out this THX spatial audio setting. Once I turned it off, restarted the computer, booted up Steam again, everything went to working just fine. Apparently it's a known problem. The enhanced version of the game has built-in 3D audio, so you just have too much, audio enhancements going on and it causes conflicts. And apparently the seat cushion can't get the proper signal from the audio to do the proper feedback, so it just doesn't work properly. I would imagine it's probably less of an issue in the legacy version of Grand Theft Auto, as it just has, stereo and just some other simple options. But there isn't that option in the enhanced version. So that's one conflict that I found that, was easily remedied. But I just want to point that out, that if you come across that and the seat cushion's not working right, there may be some sketchy stuff going on in the background with the audio. So another thing is, you'll notice here, this is the haptics tab for the Razer Freyja and my V4 Pro. Since both of them have haptic feedback, they're both listed here. I figured initially that I could give the headset a separate setting and I could give the seat cushion a separate setting. Come to find out, that's not possible. Now, I haven't figured out a way how to do that, and I've looked online quite a bit, and maybe I'm missing something, but I've spent a good bit of time as far as researching it to see if this was possible, and from what I found out, it's not. And basically what I'm trying to say is, if I want the seat cushion on a controlled setting, and then I go down here and I hit audio, and I put it on a different setting, basically what happens is, whatever I put on the audio setting, it just turns the same setting onto the seat. I don't know why it won't let you do one or the other. It would make sense just to simplify things and make things just all one setting, and I get that, and that may be why. But if you do that, you just know you can't, configure your separate haptic devices with different settings. So, and that may be a feature and not a bug. But anyways, just want to point that out. Also, another kind of weird thing I found, if I go into audio devices, which more or less is my Kraken V4 Pro haptic headset, and I change it to something else, all of a sudden my Razer Freyja doesn't work in games, and I have to power cycle it. Leave it off for 20, 30 seconds, whatever, plug it back in, and then it will work again. So that's probably a bug with something in Synapse, and just something's not handshaking there. As far as, what settings I've been using, there are games that have built-in Sensa HD. I play a lot of Stalker 2, sometimes Battlefield 6, and Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders was the first game that I played as one example, and I started with the dynamic setting. And you'll notice on each one of the settings, it kind of gives you, a brief description of what they are. So I'm using controlled right now, and it's a lot more forgiving in what it picks up. It's more, in the low end of things. But dynamic will pick up a lot more. But that was the first thing I tried in Arc Raiders, and it was just a really cool experience. And this is going to be subjective to everybody. It's just all in what setting you want to use. Some people are going to want dynamic. Dynamic's a lot more vibrant in the haptic feedback. You're going to get a lot more sensation out of the seat cushion using dynamic because it picks up a lot more frequency. Balanced is less so, and controlled is even less than that. And of course you can, configure how much haptic intensity you want on each device, and there's also haptic gain within the graph itself. And you can also go to custom, and modify things there. So, highly configurable, but there are some issues with things, like that one game, Grand Theft Auto, I found, and then you mess around with this and the audio, expect your seat cushion not to work. I'd imagine if you probably don't have a headset, you don't even have to worry about this. And I'm talking about it in regards to a haptic Razer headset. So if you just have the seat cushion, not a problem. But because I have both devices, just know that whatever setting you pick, and to keep it simple, just keep it on Sensa HD and then pick your setting and go from there. You can customize and use the custom tab just fine. You can go in here and you can modify, your frequency response and your gain and all that stuff works great. Just keep it on Sensa HD and it will blanket both your devices and go from there. So overall, I can see how people are going to look at this device and go, man, this is just expensive. And I won't disagree. It is, okay? But if you're not interested in VR and you've got, what you want, you got the monitor you like, you got the PC you like, and you're looking just to add some extra flavor into your games, I recommend it. I mean, hell, I've been using it for music. I use it on every game now. That's how much I like it. So definitely a thumbs up from me. I can't think of anything else to tell you about it other than, there's a few bugs there with the software, but it's not anything a power cycle can't fix. But every game that I've used it on, I come back going, whoa, that's pretty cool. Or that sensation I felt in my butt when a bomb went off or something it's just really cool. It just adds the immersion. So the next thing I'm going to do is go over the headset some more, but I'll do it in a follow-up video, since it is another haptic device, and I did buy it to pair it with a seat cushion. So they more or less are partners in crime when I'm playing my games, and I've been using them a lot together here lately. So overall, very enjoyable experience. If you got the cash and you want to try it out, have at it. I fully recommend it, but just know that, it's just a cool thing, man. I know it's not nothing new, but I like it a lot. So anyways, if you got any questions or anything else, just drop a comment below and I'll try and answer. Peace.